How's it going, everyone? It is Monday, April 22nd, 2022. Let's take a look at the picks from the last video. So I gave a day trading long and a day trading short. The day trading long was the Wells Fargo pick on the stipulation that SPY is above 497.37 and that the stock had an LRSI pullback. So as you can see here, we did get the LRSI pullback, but the stock was, or the market was definitely not above the 497 level at the time of the pullback. So that happened right around here. Let's call it 1245, 1250, and the market was just making a new low of the day and bouncing off that point. So this should have been a no trade. Even if you did take it, I mean, you had the chance to take a very small profit on a stock like this. There's not a ton of room, but you could maybe take it. I think 1245 would be the entry point. So I'm not really going to count that as a win. But you know, even if you were completely market oblivious, you had the chance to take a tiny win on a stock like this. So other stock that I called out was QCOM short. And it looks like that is QCOM today. So when I called out QCOM, it was right here, I believe at 1120. Market was right around here. And it was just holding this low of the day. And then the market broke through the low of the day at 1155. And this stock actually made a new low of the day at 1150. So I think given that we had some of this weakness here, unable to get off the deck, we got this bearish cycle. You know, you could definitely take it anywhere 1150 or 1155 at this entry point. And you would have made some pretty good money. Now, two things you could have done. First is when this candle started to fail, this key red bar, you could use this open of this candle as a stop. So if you got in at, let's say 58.88 and you close out here when this gets broken, so you get a decent 88-cent profit, because we're focusing on two things. One, we don't know when the reversal is, if this is going to happen today or not today, so you need to have a plan for that. And second, you can re-enter the stock if the opportunity presents itself. So that's the first way you could play this out. The second one is if you're confident on QCOM and you're willing to ride out any bounce, you know that we're going to have another test low of the day. There we get this move to VWAP to 155, and then QCOM actually does pretty well on this move up. It does get dragged up by the market, and then it forms a double top right here. And you can see the market actually formed a higher high at this point at 150. So when we break through, we make the new low of the day, and then we start to bounce up later. You see the market is starting to stall. You know that QCOM isn't as strong as you once thought. So for me, I do a couple of things. You could probably either take the profit on this bearish hammer or this bullish hammer. That's probably what I would do. So you could get out at 158. So that would be a pretty nice $150 or $160 or $1.60 profit. Or the second one is you got to get out on this bullish engulf right here at 305. Market is stalling. We're getting this bullish 1OP cross, and the stock is not doing too much. So that was a winner if you got in at that point and you took a more conservative short-term approach, or a little bit more aggressive longer-term approach on this. Okay, so let's take a look at the market and see what's going on today. So first, let's just get our bearings on a fundamental basis. We have some news that could change our fundamental bias this week, and that is mega cap tech earnings and just earnings in general. A lot of companies are reporting this week. We have, in terms of the mega cap tech names, Google, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Meta. So all these guys are reporting this week, 5 of the Mag 7, I believe. So we should get some information regarding those. and I think that will have an impact on the course of the market this week. So that's kind of the main thing that we're watching on a fundamental basis. The other thing is that we have the FOMC statement on May 1st. So if you have swing longs, keep an eye on them. Make sure you, we shouldn't really have any on at this point. But we are expecting a bounce, right? So when we have that bounce, we should expect build that into our game plan in terms of the FOMC meeting. So let's look at our D1 technical bias, and obviously we're in this pullback. We have a heavier round of selling than I think we initially thought, because we said we could test the 100-day SMA, but that would require some stronger selling, and that's what we got, right? We didn't get any green candles last week. We've had like 7 or 8 losing days in a row. A new low of the day pretty much every day, right? New low of the day, new low of the day, barely new low right here. You can see it's a little bit flat, then new low. So market's unable to get off the deck. And we expected a couple of points where the market could hold the line, right? The 50 SMA was one, a little bounce. And instead of holding line, we got these pauses. So at the gap, we got a pause. At 500, we got a pause. At the gap fill, we got a pause. So these are all pauses that we are getting at these junctures. So 100 SMA, I think, is a fairly significant level of resistance. A lot of people are watching that level, very widely used. And that's where we would potentially expect to see some sort of support form. And we want to see this support be very strong. We want some stacked green candles off of this 100-day SMA. We want heavy volume, and we'd ideally like to have a bearish divergent 1OP cycle after that move. So we get bullish cycle with strong, long green candles, heavy volume, tiny, short, bearish cycle, weak, overlapping, mixed candles on the pullback. Tells us that buyers are in this move, and the next cycle should be really, really good. So that's kind of what we're preparing for. Our longer term market bias, again, is still a 1 bullish in my opinion. We're still in the pullback phase. If this was like a really, really deep pullback, then we get far more neutral. But this bounce up is going to determine how bullish or how neutral we're going to be. If we have a strong bounce, we can feel a little bit more bullish longer term. If we get a weak bounce, we have to be a little bit more neutral on the longer term. So that is the game plan coming up, I think, for the next month. That's kind of what we're anticipating. Let's look at some support and resistance for the day over here. Obviously, the 100-day SMA and the prior levels over here. This gap fill might be a little bit of support, 500, or sorry, resistance, resistance, resistance. Support is the 100 SMA, and then if you break the 100 SMA, there's not a ton of support or horizontal levels here. The next one I could see is probably somewhere around 490 here. And then if we break that, there's certainly some horizontal resistance at this level here. But after that, it's really quite a bit of a free fall, in my opinion. So again, the most bearish scenario, that's where I'd expect the next level to be tested. But that would be quite a major correction off of this high, which I don't foresee happening. I think it's rather unlikely given the strength of this move earlier, and it would mean that a lot of this move would have been fluff. And it's interesting to see that you notice that a lot of this patchy price action, we've actually given a good chunk of those gains up versus where we were earlier. So the market has gone down about $40 from that high. Okay. Let's zoom in. Intraday, we know our swing tradings should be pretty limited, especially this juncture with the 100-day SMA so close. I wouldn't really looking for any short swings, and I'd be looking for strong charts to go long swings here. Intraday, we got this gap up. Not any major news from what I saw. If we look at the after hours, it looks like it was just some overseas strength in the morning, and that's how we had the gap up. So no major news to really justify it. And then we got this first test, we probed up, we tried to get to a new high of the day, we couldn't, and then we slowly started to go, and then we cracked down on this candle right here. Got this bearish cycle, and now we are beginning to fill in more and more of the gap, and I believe we will get the gap fill, which will be right here, yesterday's close. Now, let's look at what's happening here in the market today. Yesterday we had sort of a weak bearish trend day, choppy candles, big move down, tall bounce, another big move down. So not really, there were definitely opportunities, but a lot of stocks were not able to withstand this sort of bounce over here. We knew that buyers were in this move the entire day. We got the compression break and we got the flush out, and then we reached the next level, and then buyers managed to step back in. So choppy bearish trend day, sellers have control, but there's not very, very strong control. Today, buyers, managed to get the price up, try to get past this relative high over here. Again, couldn't quite do it in the gap, low VWAP. And we have some mixed candles here. Low volume, and we get some tiny bounces. They get faded, and a tiny move up. You're going to get a bounce, and then you get a fade. So I also see this as sellers have pretty weak control at the moment. This move could accelerate, but when I see this sort of price action and this stock, this could be a nice setup. And if this stock is testing the gap, I don't expect the gap to have a lot of continuation afterwards. So we'll have to see what that happens. I do expect a bounce at this gap, and we'll have to evaluate the nature of that bounce. But my expectation right now is that the gap is going to be filled. I've also drawn this M5 bearish channel to give some sort of structure as to what is going on. We're at the lower end of this channel a lot more, so definitely more of a bearish bias over here. And I'd see, I'm like a minus one bearish at the moment. I think the gap ups have a nice opportunity for day trading shorts. But the move down has not been very strong. And you can see that it's just been a very choppy move down on the past couple of days. I mean, we get a move leg lower, buyers in here the whole time. They fight it, and then we get a bounce. We fight it, we get a bounce. So sellers have this weak control the entire time. Now, if I look at my market components and just see kind of what is happening earlier in the day, tech was decently strong in the morning. And if I go to my mega cap tech stocks, you can see that a lot of stocks were a little bit stronger to SPY, and then now SPY is catching up a little bit. If we go to things like market strength, we can see that, okay, SPY's come down, but it's really because tech that was strong in the morning has now become weak. And so that weakness in the tech sector is what has been leading the market down, because that was the only thing that was buoying the market up. A lot of sectors were weak in the morning and tech was strong. So we had a tech leg rally, which had me a little bit more bullish on the market component side. But now that we've kind of given it the gap, we see that tech has been leading that move down. Now that adds more credence to the bearish side. Oh, there's UAL. It's moving again. So where would you get short? I think day trades have a nice shorting opportunity here. 1020, 1025 to take some shorts. A couple ones that caught my eye early in the morning. On was a great one on the slow of the day break, 1025. SMCI I was in, and that has not been doing as well. Sedge could be a really good one. We have this key red bar through this breakout. Although we have this 1OP bearish cross, so we got to be a little bit careful with Sedge, but this is an excellent setup in my opinion. Long red candle to the low of the day, bounce, come over here, bounce, come over here, bounce. We can't get any bounce going, and then we break through on heavy volume. So this is the kind of setup that I think can continue even if the market is moving up. VZ has been quite nice. Big post earnings move, huge bearish engulfing candle on the daily, massive candle, heavy volume, through a lot of support. So VZ, very, very nice. Couple couple stocks that are doing pretty well. I love BAC today, holding the entire time. As soon as the market has found support, it's starting to bounce up. So BAC, excellent long for the day. That could be my long pick. I will have to see. Yeah, see what the market does here. But BAC, excellent long pick. I love this flat open, test the support, and then we break through the prior day high, and then we hold all those gains. We're also through a decently, major D1 support level. We got plenty of room to this minor support or resistance level over here. So I like BAC quite a bit. We don't have a lot of portfolio stocks at the moment. I think it's pretty much blank. Oh yeah, we have this on PCS. I forgot. So that stock has taken some heat, but you can see it's holding pretty well considering the fact the market has gone down today. It did breach this trend line over here. But we still have cushion on the trade. It's still doing pretty well. We have this next level to lean on, this horizontal support. Any sort of market bounce, I think on and on can do pretty well and climb back up those levels. So we're keeping an eye on it. We got time for this trade to play out. And yeah, we're just going to keep seeing what it does, but no need to panic on this position just yet. Okay, so some picks. This is tough because I have a couple of day trading. I'm torn between if I should give a day trading pick or a swing trading pick. So I am going to give a swing trading pick. So here's what we're going to do. Here's a swing trade for when the market finds support. Here's what we want to see. So let's just get some basic stuff out of the way. I like to have some decent ATR, good price, no ETFs. And I want stocks that are relatively strong versus the market. So put that out there. Okay, quite a few stocks. Let's see what stocks have been strong on maybe a shorter term time frame. Quite a few stocks over here. Okay, we gotta reel this guy in a little bit. Let's see some stocks that are above. Oh, gosh, I want to do this. Stocks that have no earnings within 10 days. Okay. A lot of stocks have earnings then. Let's see a stock that is above its AVWAP E. Okay. Let's see a stock that has, let's see a trade signal on the D1 trade signal. Okay, still pretty good. H1 trade signal. All right, 50 stocks. So now we're getting somewhere. Still quite a bit of stocks over here. Let's see a stock that is maybe above its SMAs. Okay, we got 35 stocks, so let's check these D1s very quickly. I think some decent ones here. ALK. See some stocks that we're already kind of calling out here. So BAC doing pretty well. Looks like some bank stocks, BP. Our fan favorite Coupang over here. A lot of financial stocks. Hey, FLO. That's not a bad looking chart. Nice breakout. Heavy volume. I wonder if there's any news that's kind of driving this move. FLO's looking pretty good. I should make this chart shorter. These indicators are way too big. Okay. So I like FLO. I'm gonna add it to the playlist. Not the playlist. The watch list. What else is over here? Fox. KMI has been nice this week. SC is not too bad, a little choppy. SU is looking pretty good, I gotta say. We got this bull flag. It's been steadily grinding higher. Nice steady price action. No earnings for a little bit of time. I do like SU. I know it's an energy stock, so I'm not crazy about it. Petroleum resource basins. Okay, so oil and gas integrated. Alright, just does something. I don't really know what that means. TCOM. Compressing, not too bad. TME, UAL. We've done quite nicely with UAL. Holding very well. YPF. This liquid. Okay, so of all the ones I like here, I like UAL. I liked Flow. I added Flow. I liked BAC, so I'm gonna add that guy. I liked Kupang. Has to get through that level, but Kupang has been nice and strong. And I liked one more, SU. I liked SU quite a bit. So now if I go to my watch list, I got a couple of very nice picks that I can watch. And I already know that these stocks are vetted, they're nice, they're strong. Schwab is nice. I think it really feels like it's poised to break out. Wells Fargo, excellent compression break, trying to add to those gains. FLO. Let's see if there's any news on this. Well, it doesn't look like it's earnings. Not quite sure. There might be some more stocks on this list next week after all these earnings have reported. Yeah, I'm really liking BAC here just because I liked financials. It doesn't really get too ahead of itself. A bit of a choppy chart, but a really nice post-earnings move, just soaring. Between that and I'm between SU. SU's a little bit not crazy about energy, but energy has been pretty nice recently. Looks like it broke through this downtrend line pretty convincingly. Hold back. We found support on the six. Like this whole last week when we were selling off, this stock was getting gains. That is just some excellent relative strength. Tested this level right here. This breakout, couldn't quite get to it on the seller side. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking all of these. I'd say either BAC or SU would be my picks when the market finds support. They both also have excellent options liquidity, so you can go a month out. You got plenty of time, and yeah, these are looking pretty good. So that'll be my pick when the market finds support. We will take a look at this pick again, SU, and we will see how it is looking. Yeah, a little bit of resistance right here, but I think with any sort of market trend, it should be able to clear. So SU swing when market finds support. What's looking good on the day trading side? Well, let's say the market holds this gap fill and we get a double bottom. So if we get a double bottom, I might go with BAC as a day trade. That's probably what I'm looking at here. I'd like to see some relative strength. I'd like to see it grind up higher. So that's what I'm eyeing. Let's take one last look here, see if anything is really moving today. TSM, I think, has been not super strong because it had earnings. A lot of these stocks are beaten down, unfortunately. I'd like to go to Green Royal Flush and then see, yeah, SU is already on this list again. C's holding up pretty well. PG, not too bad. Not too bad. Breaking through the SMA. We have room to resistance, post-earnings move. So second day after earnings, there's still going to be some nice volume and some nice volatility. PG is looking pretty nice as a day trade. Schwab, okay, has to... Schwab, I'd set an alert at the high of the day. It may need a couple of tries to break through this level. Same thing with TSN. I'm not checking the D1s just yet. Yeah, I'm liking PG here. So here's what I'm gonna do. If this market has a tall bounce and we're able to make a higher low double bottom, LRSI cross. Why is it showing me AGN? Looking for PG. Yeah. So I think on an LRSI alert or a compression break, this sets up very, very nicely. So I'm going to set two things here. That's going to set a bull. Whoops. That's the wrong one. Bull LRSI alert. And I have a high of the day alert right here. So right now it's probably to take away some profit taking. He's made a pretty big move. This stock doesn't move a ton. It's PG. Doesn't really do too much. Also just excellent price action yesterday. So I want to see all these gains hold. I want to see it preserve and compress. I'm okay with that. And then when we break the compression, we should be ready for the next stage higher. And then I want to see the market have some support at that point. As long as my market bias is neutral, even like a -1 bullish, provided that the trend strength is strong, I'm fine with taking a long like PG, because look at this is an example of really strong trend strength and price action, right? This is not maybe the normal setup at trade, but look how it found support early in the day, held that level, grinded up. Literally as soon as the market found any like iota of support, this stock started to grind up higher and higher and higher. Did not even flinch when the market came down, right? That's just excellent volume, orderly price action. So this orderly, grindy price action ignores these market cycles. It just really... It compresses, moves higher, because there's so much institutional bid. These are the stocks that I want to look for that pretty much completely defy and ignore what the market is doing. The stronger that defiance is, the more confidence I can at least take some starter positions and ride them out when the market is mildly bearish, right? If we're getting stacked red candles, right, on a day such as, April 4th, right, not many stocks are going to survive this kind of drop. But as long as my market bias isn't a -3 bearish, even some -2 scenarios, I can take some excellent stocks. You just have to pick the right ones. So PG would be my day trade setup. So compression break or LRSI cross on market support. That's the key, right? We can't assume the market support just yet. Even if this move looks pretty nice, remember what happened yesterday. We can't be confident if this is any more a bounce that gets smacked down unless we see some sort of conviction on the buying side. Those are the two picks. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will take a look at these guys tomorrow.